As I dive deeper and deeper into wisdom-based wealth principles, I am noticing that there are certain habits among successful women that have their priorities in order. And so today I am going to talk to you about some of those top 7 habits that I notice with successful women that I can look up to, that have their priorities in order, that are feminine women, but they are rocking it at the things that they are called to do in life. One of the number one habits that I notice among successful women who haven't sold their souls is that they learn to become really good stewards of the things that they have. And I believe that at the heart of good stewardship is gratitude, it's thanksgiving for the things that we have, and even a heart of contentedness. When we are able to train ourselves to be good stewards, and it is definitely an inner training that goes on, it's because we recognize that the things that we have in our life are very secondary to the one who gives the things, the one who created all of those things. When we are truly thankful for the things that we have, we don't feel entitled to them, we don't feel like we deserve them, and we recognize that everything that we have, we wouldn't even be able to attain those things without the breath that we are given from our Creator and the strength that He puts into our body and into our mind, the wisdom He gives us to be able to attain those things. We begin to develop a deep desire to sustain those things well, to steward those things well, to allocate those things well. And that can be material things that we are given, and it can also be things like our time, and it can be things like our emotions, it can be things like our relationships. Good stewardship is about learning how to take what we have and make the most of it, to enjoy it to the fullest, to multiply it. As God's daughters, we are called to multiply the things that He puts in our hands. So that could be your calling. That could be the things that you have walked through that He's asking you to now go out and share with others, to be a beacon of light to them. That can be the relationships in our lives. And yes, that can also be material possessions or wealth that He puts into our hands. And He is asking us to be good stewards, to not bury it, to not throw it away, to not treat it like we aren't thankful for it, but to become women who understand how to multiply all of the things that God gives us. I think one of the most beautiful things about this is that as you increase in your material wealth, if you have a heart of stewardship, there will be less temptation to begin to become entitled or to begin to put those things on a throne where we are never content, where the goal is always to achieve more physically as opposed to taking the things we have and learning how to really multiply them in a way that manifests the glory of God. The second habit of highly successful women who have their priorities in check is that those women understand that service is at the heart of all good business. Business without purpose is just going through the motions. Business without purpose is just vanity. But when we have purpose and we have heart behind it and we realize that we are here in this life to please God and to serve people. And when we can really get that, we realize that the things that have been placed inside of us, our passions, inspirations, ideas, hobbies, things we've overcome, expertise, education, whatever it may be, that those things have been put inside of us for a reason. And highly successful women recognize that having that heart of service will make the business part of things, the sales part of things, an organic part of life. And so when they step into the realm of business, they are doing so understanding purpose. They are understanding that the things that have been put in them to bring value to the world is not just about them, but it is about the people around them. And so understanding that service is greater than sales, that it's not about throwing out a bunch of sales pitches, but it is first and foremost about being in service. And that is at the heart of women who experience transformational, sustainable success. They recognize it is service over sales. I just wanted to pause real quick to let you guys know that I have a free Limiting Your Limiting Beliefs video course, and I also have a free social media planner. So if you're interested in that, those links will be there for you in the description box and pinned in the comments. And I also have a brand builder and digital mastery course that lays out for you all of the foundations that you need to understand to get into the cycle of transformational, sustainable success, and then help you learn the strategies and application techniques to begin to make real passive income online. So if you're interested in that, those links will also be in the description box, and I look forward to seeing some of you over there. Now back to today's video. The third habit I've noticed of highly successful women are women who are not wasting their time comparing everything about themselves and their lives to other women. Highly successful women who remain successful and have sustained success without checking their priorities at the door, these women become girls. They want other women to win. When we truly can't see that it's our purpose to serve others and we're always comparing and we're never truly content, at some point we are going to attract to ourselves drama, and we are going to at some point fall apart because comparison zaps confidence, and highly successful women walk in confidence, and they walk in confidence in identity, and they walk in confidence in purpose. And it is impossible to do those things when we are constantly comparing ourselves to other women, or we are constantly in our head saying negative things about other women, tearing them down in our head, and we want the win all for ourselves. That is not going to end very well, and that is not how highly successful women operate. Highly successful women are not easily distracted by what's going on with everybody else, and we can tie this into the comparison example. They are not concerned with the trends that are going on with everybody else, what everybody else has, what's going on in their house, all of the things going on in the world around them, becoming obsessed with watching negative things. Highly successful women are focused on their purpose. And they do not have a lot of time to be gossiping and absorbing a ton of negative things and being lazy and wasting time. Highly successful women are locked in, they're focused, and they know the heart behind what they are doing. Another habit of highly successful women is that they understand that wisdom is superior to intellect. Nothing wrong with intellect. It's wonderful to have knowledge and to be smart. I am always so fascinated by people who are highly brilliant, but wisdom and understanding are very different than just having intellect. There are definitely people who I have met that are very intellectually book smart, and in my assessment, they lack wisdom and understanding. And highly successful women realize that you can have that intellect, but what you need to pair with that, you can learn a whole bunch of knowledge, you can watch a ton of videos, do courses, read books, but you need wisdom and understanding to be able to properly apply the knowledge that you are learning in a way that is going to best suit your situation and the goal that you're going for. Without wisdom and understanding, knowledge can just sit there on the shelf like an old dusty book. The wisdom and the knowledge, the wisdom and the understanding is how we apply the knowledge in a way that is going to bring us sustainable, transformational success and is going to allow us to keep our priorities in check. And going back to the stewardship thing, when the things do come in, we are going to have the wisdom and the understanding of how God intends us to utilize things, to reinvest them, and to put them back out into the world, and how to utilize them in our own family and in our own community. Tying into having wisdom, another habit of highly successful women is that they understand investing, which is another aspect of stewardship. They are not going out there and frivolously spending money on things that they don't need while they're in the building phase. If they have all the money in the world to spend on things and there's something that they want, totally fine. That's everybody needs to make those decisions for themselves. But in the building phase, they are locked in and they are focused. They're applying that wisdom and that understanding to the finances, and they understand that there are seasons to walk through, and the building phase is one where they need to be focused and not just frivolously spending on everything that they see popping up on the TikTok shop and they're not just pressing the button every 5 minutes, but they understand that there is a season of investing in their time, in their mental focus, and they have that goal in mind and they stick with it. And so one of those habits is that they develop self-discipline. Self-discipline is so important, whether it's us wanting to be successful in growing our wealth portfolio and growing a business online, making that passive income, becoming healthier, having better habits, feeding our body the way we need to, having better relationships. Highly successful women across the board, I have noticed they are women who are set on developing better self-discipline and self-control. This we know is a fruit of the spirit, and it is so important for success, for sustained success, for transformational success. So self-discipline is definitely something that we all should be working on in this year to come. We need to sit down, write down the areas where we are lacking in self-control and self-discipline, and start making a strategic plan where we can begin to shift the way we think, the way we speak in that area of life where we are struggling, and then the actions that we are doing, because things start as a thought, then they start to become the things we say. Then at that point, we're making an agreement with it when we continue to think on it and speak on it. And then it becomes a belief system once we've made the agreement. And from that belief system will flow out of our heart our actions. So the actions that we take, there's a whole system that goes on before we take the action. So begin to write down the areas where we need more self-discipline and then work backwards. What is my belief system attached to this? What have I made an agreement with? What have I been saying and how do I need to change it? And what am I thinking on and how do I need to change that? And another habit of highly successful women is they realize that they need to learn how to be good allocators. That you can't do everything and you can't do everything perfectly. And so along the way, they learn the areas where they have strengths. They learn the areas where they need to rely on other people. They are humble enough to be able to ask people for help when they need it. They recognize their priorities. And again, they recognize that there are seasons of life. To everything a season. And when we are looking at growing in success in different areas, we have to recognize that there is a building phase, there are maintenance phases, and sometimes we need to allocate more energy in one area during a building phase than we do in a maintenance phase. But overall, we learn as we go along in the process that we need to learn how to allocate. The Proverbs 31 woman, she had all sorts of maidens and servants and businesses and a home to take care of, and I know that she was developing skills as she went along where she was saying, okay, this is my priority, this is my strength, this is where I could go out and source outside help to come in and do this one thing. Ask for help, recognize where you need people to step in, where you need to outsource things, where certain priorities just need to be just shifted around a little bit for one season, and say, and not guilt yourself the whole way through that. And then you can shift it back into place when you enter into the maintenance phase of your transformational success. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video today. I'm so grateful to have you here. If you did enjoy it, I would love to have you subscribe so that we can visit again. Thank you for liking the video, and put a comment below if you have any other habits in mind of highly successful women or where you want to work on this in the months to come. I thank you all so much for being here, and remember, you can do hard things. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, friends.